Hi family, welcome to my kitchen where we're going to be making cassava starch. What's the other name for cassava? Type it below. Cassava. Yucca. Is that it? All right. So this part is hard. So I chopped off that one. This one I'm also going to take it off. I think I need two to make the cassava starch. Why do we need cassava starch? To thicken our remedies. We do not want cornstarch in the store. So we make it ourselves, or we get it from someone who we know and trust that makes it. So my mom used to make this, and she used it to make a remedy to cure asthma that she cured in a family member of mine and help others in the community to cure. And so I'm going to do the exact thing for you. So we have to make the starch first. This is going to be maybe a 3-day process because we have to grate it, juice it, set it, and then strain the water off. And then that sedimentation at the bottom, that's the powder that's going to dry. And when it's dry, that's the starch. And then we're going to use some of that to make the remedy that cure asthma. All right. So we cut off the top part, which is hard. And then we're going to peel this. This is the way we peel it. We gore it in a spiral shape all the way down. That's how my mom taught me to peel it. So we're going to gore it all the way down. I guess because it's like a hard skin, so it's better to peel it in a spiral way. So you're goring it in a spiral shape all the way down. And I got this out the store, so it's a bit dry. If you had gotten it out your field, it would be much easier to peel because it's softer. So see the spiral cut that I gore it all the way down? Now we're gonna start from the tip here and to get this skin off. See? See? That's the skin there coming off. See that? Okay. And we just keep doing that until we get it all off. See that? Doesn't have to be perfect. You can always skim off whatever bits are left. So it doesn't matter if it breaks up. And you just keep doing that all the way down. Now I believe if it was like coming fresh from your garden, it would be much easier. Well, we buy this from the store. One day I'm gonna have my garden and I plant my cassava myself. What you say about that? How many of you have your garden already? Hats off to you. We gotta get back to that where we grow our own stuff and we share with each other in the community, right? See? So now we're all the way down and we cut that part off. There we go. That little part is dried out. You see, it's been in the store, so we cut that part off too. So there we go, it's all done. And I'm gonna peel the other one and then we wash them. So we'll come back after we peel the other one. Hi, so now we're back. We're all done peeling the two cassava yucca and one is cut already. Now I'm gonna show you how to cut the next one. Let's go. So now we're gonna dice it, the cassava, the yucca, to a manageable proportion for the ninja. It's hard, so I have to knock on it a bit. So I'm gonna just do circles and then I make it smaller. And cassava is very starchy, so that's why it's so perfect to make a healthy starch, to thicken your medicines. That's the purpose of this starch, to thicken your medicines. And here we go. It's a staple in many diets. It's a ground provision. I love it. You can even grate it and mix it to make like dumplings with a little bit of whole grain flour. And so many things, but it's starchy. If you're diabetic, then you know you can't eat too much of this because the carb level is high. Carbohydrate is high in this. So you only could eat a little piece of yucca if you're reversing your diabetes. You want it to cure, you know. So now we're going to blend our cassava. So we're gonna add some water to get the starch out of it. We need the juice because that's where we're gonna get the starch from. So we have to blend it. If you don't have a powerful blender, you can grate it the old-fashioned way with your grater, okay? All right. So now we're going to load up our power blender. We have an ice feature, and we're going to use the ice feature of the Ninja. Let me see if it can hold all of it. It can? Oh, yay! It hold all of it, so we can do one go. So that's 2 cassava in my 72-ounce Ninja blender, power blender. We're going to put 500 mils of water, or 16 ounces. There we go. And I think we can put a little more water. So maybe 8 more ounces, half of that, or 250 mils. That looks good enough now. Yes, because we don't want to not put enough water. Then we're going to put our lid on. I love this blender. It's a powerhouse. It can crush ice and everything. All right, here we go. We're going to use the ice feature. Let's turn it on first. What about that? And then the ice crush. Ooh, look at that. Then we can switch once it gets it all. So we're gonna check and see. It's pretty much well fine, guys. But I think I still want to give it a little high speed now. Now we're all set. So we're gonna strain off the pulp to get the juice, and then we're gonna put the juice to sit. And when all the starch settles at the bottom, the water is going to flow to the top. We're going to pour the water off and then leave that starch to dry. We're going to strain the pulp out. There we go. I want to get all that out of our blender. And then we're going to squeeze the rest of juice out. You see how starchy that is? Look how white that milk is. Oh wow, maybe you could drink cassava milk, I guess. They've been making milk from everything. This is cassava milk. Come on guys, cassava milk. All right, so we're gonna get all our juice out, and then we're gonna let the juice sit for a few hours, maybe 4, and then we'll come back and check on it to see when it settles. All right, so there we go. So now we're going to let this sit on the counter. And if you want to make sure it's protected, just spread a cloth over it so it can breathe and so nothing gets into it, and let it sit. See you in about 2 hours. We're going to check on it. the water off. Wow, that's amazing. Look at that. The old-fashioned way of doing things. Cassava makes the best starch. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Wow. There it goes. And now we need to let that dry. See the starch? It's a little bit of the pulp right there, but that's the perfect starch up there. All right, we're gonna let this dry for 24 hours or 1 to 2 days. We need to get it perfectly dry. You can dry it in the sun. When the sun comes up, you bring it out, or in your refrigerator. All right, I'm gonna put it in the refrigerator overnight and show you how it looks in the morning. And this is me putting the starch, the cassava starch, in the sun to continue drying. We're checking on our starch. It's now 3 days since it's been drying, just because I'm not in a sunny area. I'm in the north, but if you're in a sunny area, yours maybe would have dried within 24 to 48 hours. So 72 hours, and we're gonna start raking it up in the plate because we're gonna take it out. And it still feel a little damp because I brought it inside, you know, and put it in the refrigerator until the sun comes out the next day. So I'm gonna let it stay in the sun now that I rake it up for today, and then it will be completely dry. Then I'm gonna bag it in your Ziploc bag. I think preferably a paper bag so it can still breathe. But if not, paper towel, and then put it in a Ziploc bag. When it's fully dried, maybe another time you could put it in your mason jar, but you can start using from it because it's now the starch, and you use this to thicken your your homemade remedies that you make. Cassava starch. So there we go. So now it's all dry, and we're gonna bag it in our Ziploc bag, or you can use your brown paper bag or your mason jar. And I'm gonna use it to make all type of health remedies to thicken the mixture. So this is a starch from cassava, and there we go.